in July of 2020, NHS England sought 10,000 non-temporary beds to deal with recovery and the potential future surges. And I think you go on to say in the statement that the request for the funding for those beds was not approved by Her Majesty's Treasury. No doubt something of a disappointment to you, but why was it felt at that stage in that summer that as many as 10,000 extra beds were going to be needed?
Thank you. We had done some modelling work over that summer to look at, again, recognising there was a huge range of possible scenarios, but just looking at from a sort of best estimate what it would take to be able to run with a sort of constant number of patients in the service who were COVID positive, create the necessary headroom then to respond to, as we were saying previously, normal winter pressures over above that, but crucially also to have the space to do the not just urgent but also non-urgent, non-COVID work, so that we would be able to do that recovery work that we'd begun to start in the summer.
And I think the Prime Minister's private office was involved in the decision to refuse and said effectively they wanted more use to be made of Nightingales, the independent sector, to go back to discharging patients if necessary, using flu vaccinations to hopefully deal with any flu upsurge there would be, and that there would be capacity would be looked at in the spending review, which I assume would be at the end of the financial year of 2021. Is that correct?
Yes, autumn 21.
What were the consequences of that 10,000 bed request being refused from your perspective?
It was, as you say, very disappointing, because what it meant in practice is that where we could now be in, I think, a very different position on elective recovery, if we had had that capacity, we could certainly have treated thousands more patients if we had had that additional headroom, as well as being more resilient going into the second wave and into winter more generally. So subsequent to the pandemic, there has been some steps taken to increase core bed capacity, but clearly we could have done with that capacity at the time, and I think we'd be in a quite different position now.